AI's 95% failure rate, what MIT got right. You've probably seen the headlines this week about MIT's research showing that 95% of enterprise AI projects are failing. The study spooked Wall Street and had executives everywhere questioning their AI strategies. But before you panic or write off AI as another tech bubble, let's talk about what this research actually means. I've been helping companies through major technology transformations for over 20 years, and this MIT finding isn't really about AI at all. It's about something much more basic. Most organizations are terrible at implementing disruptive technology. The lessons here go way beyond artificial intelligence. What MIT actually found. The research, led by MIT's NANDA initiative, analyzed 300 public AI deployments, conducted 150 executive interviews, and surveyed 350 employees. The headline number is stark. Despite $30 to $40 billion in enterprise investment, 95% of generative AI implementations are falling short of expectations. Here's what makes this research worth paying attention to. It's not another story about AI limitations. The problem isn't that AI models aren't good enough. The problem is what MIT calls a learning gap. Companies don't know how to actually use these tools effectively. This matters because it changes everything about how you should think about AI strategy. When technology isn't ready, you wait for better technology. When your organization can't figure out how to use technology that already works, you need to fix your organization. The tale of two economies. What's really interesting about MIT's research is the massive gap they found between winners and losers. Some startups, many of them led by people barely out of college, have gone from $0 to $20 million in revenue in a year using AI. Meanwhile, established companies with vastly more resources are failing with the exact same technology. This isn't about access to better AI models, it's about approach. The winners pick one pain point, execute well, and partner smartly. They're focused and pragmatic. The losers, they're doing what big companies always do with new technology, trying to transform everything at once. They launch AI initiatives across every department, build proprietary tools from scratch, and expect magic to happen without changing how they actually operate. The build versus buy revelation. The most practical takeaway from the MIT study is about how you implement AI. Companies that buy specialized AI tools succeed about 67% of the time. Companies that try to build everything themselves, they succeed about 33% of the time. Think about what this means for your AI strategy. The researchers found that almost everywhere we went, enterprises were trying to build their own tool. Even though buying existing solutions worked much better, this reveals a classic mistake, confusing competitive advantage with operational table stakes. Most AI applications aren't going to differentiate your business, they're just going to help you operate more effectively. The smart companies get this. They buy proven solutions and focus their internal development on the few areas where custom AI actually creates competitive advantage. The resource allocation problem. The MIT study also shows how companies are wasting their AI budgets. More than half of all generative AI spending goes to sales and marketing tools. But guess where MIT found the biggest returns? Back-office automation. This should sound familiar if you've lived through other technology waves. Companies always overspend on the flashy, customer-facing stuff, while ignoring the boring operational improvements that actually save money and create value. The 5% of companies that are winning with AI get this. They're not chasing the sexy use cases. They're systematically eliminating manual work and cutting their dependency on outsourced services. Why? This isn't just about AI. Here's what the headlines miss. This research isn't really about artificial intelligence. It's about organizational capability. Here's a stat that puts it in perspective. More than 80% of AI projects fail. That's twice the failure rate of regular IT projects. But that tells the same story we've seen with every major technology shift I've been part of. Companies don't struggle with the technology itself. They struggle with changing how they operate to actually capture the value. Think about ERP implementations, cloud migrations, digital transformations. Same pattern every time. A small group of companies figure it out and pull ahead, while everyone else gets stuck in pilot hell. The learning gap in context. MIT calls this a learning gap. Organizations don't know how to use AI effectively. This matches exactly what I've seen in hundreds of transformation projects. Technical capabilities always develop faster than organizational capabilities. The challenge isn't teaching people to use AI tools. Most of them are pretty intuitive now. The real challenge is redesigning how work actually gets done, updating how you measure success, and rethinking how value gets created in your organization. Here's the thing. Tools like ChatGPT work great for individuals because they're flexible, but they stall in big companies because they don't learn from your specific workflows or adapt to how your business actually operates. Individual adoption is necessary, but it's not enough to create enterprise value. What the successful 5% do differently. So what do the successful 5% do differently? Based on MIT's research and my experience with companies that actually make technology transformations work, here's what they get right. They focus on implementation, not innovation. Instead of building AI from scratch, they find the best existing solutions and get excellent at using them. They push AI decisions down to line managers rather than keeping everything centralized in some corporate AI lab. MIT specifically found that empowering line managers, not just central AI labs, is crucial for success. They pick AI tools that actually integrate with how they work and get better over time. Most importantly, they treat AI implementation as an organizational change challenge, not just a technology problem. The strategic implications. If your organization is struggling with AI, the MIT study gives you a pretty clear roadmap. But you'll need to admit some uncomfortable truths about how you've been approaching this. First, stop trying to build everything yourself unless you have real evidence that custom development will actually give you competitive advantage. The winners are succeeding through better implementation, not better technology. Second, take a hard look at where you're spending your AI budget. The biggest value creation opportunities are probably in the boring back-office stuff that customers never see, but that could dramatically cut your costs. Third, invest as much in changing how your organization works as you do in buying AI tools. That learning gap MIT identified, you can't solve it with training sessions. You solve it by systematically redesigning how work gets done. Looking forward, the MIT research is a wake-up call, but not the one most people think. It's not saying AI doesn't work, it's saying most companies don't know how to make transformative technology work at scale. This isn't a new problem. I've seen the same pattern with every major technology shift of the past 30 years. The companies that win aren't the ones with the best technology. They're the ones that figure out how to actually use it. Here's the question every executive should be asking. Will your organization be among the 5% that captures AI's potential or among the 95% that get stuck trying? The technology works. The question is whether your organization does.